beautiful goddess. Welcome back to the Hello Goddess podcast. I am your host, Mandy Deandra Grace. I am a Reiki practitioner, a future naturopath, and a spiritual seeker. Today I'm so excited because I got the opportunity to interview one of my best friends, Stéphanie Chiasson. Stéphanie is a life coach and occupational therapist who has worked for nearly 5 years in the field of mental health. During her therapies, Stephanie quickly realizes that her clients only ask for one thing: to get better. But how is that possible? How can we recover when we are constantly hitting ourselves on the head? So her mission is to help people love themselves fully while creating healthy lifestyle habits to live their dream life and surpass themselves. How does she want to get there? By offering wellness and spiritual tools for people to become their number one cheerleader to finally walk in their light. I absolutely love this episode. Her energy is beautiful, magical, and contagious. You will love it too, I'm sure. So without further ado, welcome Stephanie. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Hello Goddess podcast. I am your host, Mandy Deandra Grace, and we have a special guest today, one of my best friends, Stéphanie Chiasson. Thank you so much for being on my podcast.
I'm so happy to be here. It's my first podcast with someone else. So,
No way, I didn't know that. That's so exciting.
yeah, you're the first one to invite me on your podcast. So, I'm very, very happy today.
Oh, you are so welcome. I'm really, really happy to share everything that you know with my community because I know you have so much to offer and we have so much in common, and it's going to be a great conversation, I'm sure.
Yeah, I
Uh,
know. It will be our first in English, though. So, it's a challenge for me, but we need to step out of a comfort zone to grow. So,
yes, absolutely. Me, it's the total opposite. When I was on your podcast, it was hard for me to speak French. I was like, okay, I have to translate everything in my mind because everything I read
first,
and
then,
study.
yeah. So, I'm pretty
Yeah.
happy to be.
All right. So usually what I try to do when I begin a podcast is I want to take people back to the beginning of your journey because I think a lot of people need to hear the path that you took, the struggles that you've been through, and I'm sure a lot of people will relate to that. So maybe explain to us how you got to where you are now.
Yes. So first of all, I'm 31. I live in the peninsula, and I grew up there, and it was a chaotic family. But we had a lot of love, but I saw something that kids shouldn't see at that age. And then I took some responsibility upon myself with take care of my brother, take care of the home, make sure everyone is happy around me. So I lost myself along the way. In four, in grade 4, I wrote in my journal, should I see a psychologist? So it was for maybe 10 years old. I wrote that. So I knew from a long time that I struggled with mental health, like stress and depression. And when I got to the high school, I had my first panic attack. So I remember exactly where I was, exactly how I felt. It was my first experience with a panic attack. And I was very scared, and I didn't know what happened to me, but I didn't talk about it. Um, so I continue my life again. Everyone knew me as a happy person, as the smiley person, but inside I was really sad. I was always knocking on my head like, you're not good enough, you're not beautiful enough, you're not enough.
Wow.
So that was the limiting belief I had in my brain. So when I got to University of Moncton, my first year went great. I was half of it in Chipagan, and I moved to Moncton to be with my boyfriend at the time. And after the first year, I went back to the summer camp I was working, and I was the director of the summer camp. So I had a lot of responsibility again. And during that summer, I was always crying. I was very sad. I was being all alone, even though everyone wanted to help me. And then when I got back to university at second year, I got diagnosed with major depression. It was the first time I saw a psychologist and I had a diagnosis. So I took 4 months of university and she helped me a lot. That was the first time, like I said, I spoke with someone about mental health, about my struggle, about my life, about everything around me that was happening. And I'm pretty happy and glad that I did, because it was my first step toward my um guérison. I don't know how to say it
Healing,
yeah,
right? Yes.
toward healing myself. It so it was in 2011. So it's been 12 years and I'm still on a journey through healing. So after 5 years in Moncton, I moved to Ottawa for my master's degree in occupational therapy. And then I had a pretty amazing teacher. Her name is Rachel Thibault, and she a former psychologist that became a occupational therapist, and she traveled all around the world to study resiliency. So it spoke really to me. She was my favorite teacher
Oh.
uh, at the master degree, and she teaches us like take care of yourself first if you want to take care uh, of anybody else after that. So yeah, during that class I wasn't on my phone or my laptop. My eyes were on her. She was amazing. She
Mm.
had a great vibe, great energy. And like I said, she traveled all around the world with, uh, war civilian that experienced war. And she was working
Mhm.
with women to empower them. So it's really speak to me. And then when I came back in the peninsula in 2017, I was in a low part of my life again. Everything was dark. I didn't know why I was still living on hurt. I
Mhm.
was is- isolating myself. I
Mhm.
don't know if it's a word in English,
Yep.
but
Yep.
yeah. So I didn't reach to anyone. I was just doing all of that by myself. And again, in front of people, always have a beautiful smile, good energy, but it's not the same with me.
Mhm.
So what I needed to do was see a therapist, see someone that can coach me to change my mindset and love myself as I were. I'm perfect the way I am. I just need to see it. Like I need to see myself through the eyes of my best friend.
Mhm.
Oh, and
Mhm.
become my best friend. So in the last 3 years, I can say I'm really more a spiritual person, and that was the missing part in my life. My coach at that time said to me like, there's really something missing in your life, and the
Mm.
part I can see is spirituality. I was afraid of the word God and Jesus at that time. And my relationship with the higher energy was non-existent. So he helped me get through that and make sense about my life,
Mhm.
and slowly now I know my mission, my vision, what I want to accomplish in my life, and it's so much more beautiful right now at 31 than it was at 21. So if you're in your 20s, it's normal to feel like you don't know where you're going. Still don't know at 31 where I'm going with my life. I just know I want to share love and light with everyone I meet.
Thank you so much for sharing that journey with us. And for being vulnerable and admitting how you really felt in those moments. I'm so sorry that you went through all these difficulties, but I think you went through them to become who you are now and to help
Yeah,
other women 100%. Um,
we
and I
all
really,
have a luggage. We all have something in the past.
mhm,
And I always said that to my client, your luggage, you choose how heavy they are. If
mhm,
you want to be stuck in the past, it will be so heavy. But once you get through that luggage, through that traumas, through everything you went through, and you work through it, it it's 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 lighter. It
mhm.
becomes lighter and lighter and lighter, and then you can bring your luggage with you everywhere, but you choose what you want to keep in that luggage.
Exactly. And like you said, when you're working through your trauma with a therapist, with yourself, and even having a relationship with spirituality, that's what helped me the most for myself when I was going through depression as a teen and a young adult, was to know that there's a reason that I'm here.
Yeah.
Like, this is all happening for a reason, right?
Mhm.
So thank you so much for sharing that wisdom with us. And now you're a life coach.
Yes, I am. Yes, I'm a former occupational therapist. I'm not working in that field anymore, but I've worked with mental health clients for 5 years. So every time I saw a client, it was they want to get better. Everyone wants to get better. They just don't know how.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay um to have a support system around yourself to get better. And I was lucky enough that I found you along my it was amazing. We helped each other a lot
Mhm.
through days, through our weeks, and even though we're not close, you're in Moncton, I'm in Caracat, but with technology, that's a positive thing about technology. We can still talk each day. We
Yeah.
can work together and coach together each other.
I love it.
And
I just want to share something real quick too
yeah,
with our listeners. We're always there for each other, me and Stephanie. And like even this morning, I woke up. We had planned to do this podcast today, and I woke up and I was like, Steph, I don't think I can do this. Like I'm really tired. I'm not feeling it. And she was like, okay, just take your time, meditate, do like all the self-care things, and come back to me later. Maybe you'll change your mind. And I really, really appreciate that. Like you always keep me accountable. And like I just want to share, like, even though we're online and we're sharing like all this positive, like empowering stuff, sometimes we do have bad days ourselves, right?
yeah. And that's life.
Yeah.
Life is a wave, like
Mhm.
wave. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, but you still, navigate on that wave and still go forward. Some days maybe you're stuck at the same place. Maybe some days you um you go far farther
Mhm.
further, have a step back, and it's okay.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
okay not to be okay, but you need to be your cheerleader, even if it's a dark moment for you. You need to make sure you give yourself some love, because if your best friend is coming to you and she said, oh, I'm having a bad day, I don't think I'm capable of doing this, like you said to me this morning, I wouldn't say to you, oh, yeah, you're not able to do that today. You're not good enough. Oh, you're so ugly. No one wants to see you on your screen. I won't say that to you. Why do I keep telling that to myself
Yeah,
every goddamn day?
I know.
So
I know.
every day, you sometimes you need to battle with your own thoughts, and it's okay. But you need to be there for you first and love yourself first, because no one will do the work for you.
Mhm. That's incredible. It's so true. And I know everybody does this. Like we're so nice to other
Yeah.
people, but to ourselves, we're
We're
like our
so
own
hard on ourselves, and
uh.
we should be our first cheerleader.
Yes,
When I'm
exactly.
having a good day, I like to dance, I like to sing, I like to do those things. But when I'm having a bad day, that's when I need it the most. I
Mm-hmm.
need that most. So now I have a tool with everything that I do for self-care, um, to help myself get through a bad day. And I use a lot of laughter yoga to do that. Sometimes I'm driving and I'm like, ho, ho, ha, 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 ho. My dog, I think, is
Oh,
when I
cute. He wants to be on the podcast too. He's
yeah,
cute.
Tito is a star now. What is hello, everybody? Hello,
Hey,
everybody.
sweetie.
So, and I was driving with one of my friend, and he was feeling down, and I said to him, "Oh, I'll put my laughter yoga playlist, so because it's up, and you can dance to it, sing to it, and I like that kind of song." And he told me, "What is laughter yoga?" And I showed him, and we were laughing, in the car together. And 5 minutes after we've done, I asked him, "Oh, sorry, my dog is yeah, we are in our new place, so we don't have the bed. I don't have my sofa. I'm sitting on the floor, but everything is fine."
Love it. Love it. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So what I was,
You were saying you were laughing with a friend
I
in the
was
car.
asking him, and 5 minutes after that, I asked him, "How do you feel?" He said, "Better." I was like, "Wow, eh?" So
It works.
you have a tool when you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling stressed, when you're not feeling good, because the body doesn't make the difference if you're laughing, if you're forcing, ha,
Mhm.
ha, ha, or if you're laughing for real.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
using the same muscle, so it boosts the energy. You're feeling better. I'm not saying you will feel 100% better, but you need to be in the action to take yourself out of that dark place
Hmm.
where is light,
Hmm.
you know.
Exactly. And you do a lot of laughter yoga. You offer that in your community as well, eh?
Yes, and soon I'll be starting doing laughter yoga at a center here,
Oh,
and
that's
guided
nice.
meditation. So that's very nice,
Uh,
because I can show my community to live in more self love, more being more calm, zen, and have fun. Because when
mhm.
you're doing laughter yoga, um, it's like your inner kids, your inner child is still playing and having fun. So it's really fit with me because I was a happy kid. Um, I was someone that wanted to take care of everyone, but
Mm,
I want to have fun with them as well. I
mm,
was always dancing, singing, and that's a big part of my healing journey, reconnecting with my inner child. So laughter yoga with me is
yeah.
like a therapy, but for myself.
Hmm.
So every time I do yoga, laughter yoga, it's so it's so amazing just for myself. And I did some laughter yoga with teens this week. It
Oh,
wasn't They weren't too into it at first, but I have some good laughter from them, and at least they know it exists. And if they
yeah.
need to feel better, I did a guided meditation with them as well, and I told them maybe you will not use it right now,
Mm,
but someday you will maybe need that kind of tools to
mhm.
get through your dark moments. So
And that's
yeah,
one thing about you. Like you always have so many tools up your sleeve and so many resources. Yes, that's really one of your strengths too. When I'm having an issue with something, you're like, oh, you send me a bunch of stuff.
I know. I always love to have information on my hand because when I'm seeing clients, sometimes I will say, oh, maybe that tool will work for you or
Yeah.
that one. And I want them to try it first. And if it worked for them, because a tool can work for me, but cannot for you. So
Yeah.
you need to try it. You need to be in the action. And that's something I've learned through the years as well is when I was feeling bad, I was just like on my phone in my bed and I was like under my blanket, but it didn't work for me. I
Ah.
know we need to take rest. We need to take time off sometime. But when I'm feeling very anxious, I find that I need to be in action. I hate doing the dishes, but if I'm feeling anxious, I will do it because I will be in the um, the present moment. I
Yeah.
will feel the soap on my hand, smell the soap. I will just take my time and just be grounded and take some deep breaths. So mindfulness is a big tools I use every day as well. So yes, I have a lot of tools. I have a workbook actually that is selling on my website. Um,
Nice.
yeah, with a toolbox. So if you're interested in that, I will give the link to Mandy so you
Yes.
can buy it. Use the tools in your everyday life.
I'll definitely put that link in the description box wherever you're listening or watching this episode so you guys can check that out. Yeah, so thank you so much. There is something too that you shared with me that has really, really transformed my life. It's so simple, but it's so true. Your 100% varies from a day to another. And
Yeah.
yeah, and that you told me that and that blew my mind. I was like, okay, like when I'm having a lower like energy day, I'm doing my 100%. It's
Yeah.
not going to be the same every single day.
Mm, mm. And I took that from in French it's les quatre accords Toltec, the four agreements.
Yes.
I took
Yes.
that book. It's the book that helped me the most. I listened to it in an audiobook while I was driving, and it's one of the most wonderful and powerful book I read for myself, and I'm still using that because every day is not the same,
Mhm.
and our energy, um, our feelings are, you know, varies a lot day from day. And one last tool I want to share with everyone that helped me
Mhm.
a lot for my self love, is just looking in the mirror, look at myself and tell myself, I love you. I love you, Stephanie, and repeat that at least 5 times. And I did it when I was seeing my therapist. I did it like 3 to 5 times a day. It was
Wow.
because you don't love yourself. You hate yourself for being that, for being where you are at that moment. But once I learned to give myself some love and be gentle and kind with myself, it it's the biggest, the most powerful tool I use.
Yeah.
And now I can look through the mirror and said, hey, I love your smile today. Look at your hair, how awesome it is. Now I have pink hair and I oh, that outfit is good on you, be your cheerleader, give yourself some love. When you're shopping with
Mm.
your best friend, you will say, oh yeah, walk to it, yeah, girl, you're wonderful. Then when you look in the mirror, do that to yourself. It will just uplift
Yeah.
yourself, and it's easier loving yourself than hating yourself. Honestly, it's so much funnier as well. So yeah, I have a lot of tools. So they will need to follow me on social media to have access to all those tools.
Absolutely. Like, I'm sure you love her already. Go check out her social medias. I'm going to link everything below. Thank you so much. I have a few questions before we finish this episode and we wind down. Uh, I think I think me and you have very similar life missions. We both want people to love themselves and to be empowered. But from your words, What do you see for yourself in the future? How do you want to leave your mark in the world?
Um, I did a 10-year like wish list that I shared with you a couple months ago. And first of all, I want to be, I have a more balanced life. I want to move my body more. I want to have a better relationship with food, to nourish myself because I found that it's really helped my mental health. But on a business level, on a coaching level, I see myself with a pretty good online class, like course, and I will. Maybe it will be out in September or maybe
Ooh.
before. But I have a lot of retreat, also self-development retreat that I'm planning for the northeast of New Brunswick. So if you want to work on yourself in nature with other people that want to do the same and be the better version of themselves, you're welcome. And I
Yes.
want to write a book. I already know the title, um, because I want to share the life I had, this my story with mental health, with myself, and how days are better days are coming for me, and I know it now because I know myself, I know who I am, and I know what I want in my life, and I have a clothing line in
Ooh, that's exciting. You have
coming.
so many projects. I love it.
Uh, yeah, so I want to be a full-time life coach helping
Mhm.
others find themselves, find their light, and just live with your life with all the love. So yeah, I have a
Thank
lot
you.
of
I love that answer. Thank you so much. I know that you're going to be so successful and we'll be best friends along the way. And
and we'll be successful together.
thank
You
you
know.
so much. And I will be there at that retreat as well. So definitely check that out. I'll leave more information again in the description box. So before we finish, there's only 9 minutes left before this signs out. So I have two questions for you that I always ask every guest. The first one is, if you could go back in time and speak to your younger self, what would you tell her?
Oh my God, that question I ask myself a lot, and I want to write a letter to my inner child.
Mm,
Just want to say to her, "You're safe."
yeah.
You know, one day you will feel safe within yourself, safe within your community, safe everywhere. And uh it's a question for me, but I'm being
Yeah.
vulnerable like
Mm,
I have. So
yeah.
um yeah, I want to say I love you. You're doing your best. Keep going. Better days are coming, and one day
Mm,
you will find yourself, you will find your mission, and every day you will make some action towards those dreams.
mhm.
So I I will not change anything,
No, me
everything I
neither.
or you said that earlier. It made me the person I am today. It made me stronger. It made me um the beautiful woman I am today. So yeah, I
Mhm.
will say you're and I love you.
I love that. Thank you so much for being vulnerable again and sharing your truth. And the last question I have for you is, what is your definition of a goddess?
Oh my God. Oh, I love that. A goddess for me is someone who is within her power, it's a empowered woman that is working every day through her dream, but also being kind with herself on those lower days,
Hmm.
A goddess for me is like a cheerleader, honestly.
Yep.
It's like in your best moment, you want to cheer you up, you want to congratulate yourself for stepping out of your comfort zone. When you're down, you want to cheer yourself. be the goddess you are inside.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so a goddess for me is like being your number one cheerleaders. We
Mm-hmm.
don't use the same words,
Yep.
but behind that, it's so similar. But again, I like that because if someone is listening to my podcast and can see how beautiful you are as your god, as the goddess you are, and want to work with you, it's totally fine because we all want the same thing,
Yep.
that all around us that reach to us become the
Yeah.
better version of them and love themselves a lot every day. So yeah, that's a goddess for me.
I love that answer. Thank you so much, Stephanie. I'm so honored that you were able to come on the podcast today and share your magic, your energy, and your energy is contagious. I'm sure everybody that is listening is like pumped up right now, and they're ready to be their own cheerleader and to live their best lives and to become the goddess that they were always
Meant to be.
meant to be. Exactly.
You see, we finished our sentences. It's like
Yeah.
we're one.
Best best friends for sure. All
Yeah.
right.
Thank you for the invitation and see you later.
Okay, bye everybody.
Bye.
So, this concludes our episode for today. I hope you enjoyed listening and tuning in as much as we had fun recording it. If you want to connect with Stéphanie Chiasson, just look at the links below in the description box. I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope you know that you are a goddess and you should be your own cheerleader. Sending you all of the love, all of the light, and the Reiki energy. Bye.